Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks, bringing you the top stories from Israel and the region every Monday to Thursday right here. And in case you missed it here, don't worry, we've got you covered on YouTube. You can catch us there at the Israel Brief, and all you have to do is simply click on the big red subscribe button. But let's take a look at those top stories, and we continue with the greatest trend coming out this year, and that is normalization. And I know many of you, like me, have been playing normalization bingo. We're trying to guess which will be the next country to normalize ties with Israel. Well, we might have the answer to that one, and it looks highly likely that it will be the Sudan. The Jerusalem Post reported early this morning that the Sudan has agreed to normalize ties with the Jewish state, and we can expect a formal announcement coming out within the next few days. See, I am that excited. I'm even stumbling over my words. But right now, a delegation of Israeli officials are in the Sudan talking to officials there about normalization. And this comes after US President Donald Trump took the African country off the list of terror countries as one of the conditions for normalization. So if you are playing, get used to the Sudanese flag, because it looks likely that that's the next one we're adding to normalization bingo. And in other news, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced that the State Department is likely to declare some international human rights groups as anti-Semitic. This is because of their support for the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement called BDS. BDS is a movement or organization that seeks to call into question Israel's legitimacy as the nation state of the Jews, as a country, and seeks to employ tactics like boycotts or lawfare to try and exercise Israel from the family, or excommunicate Israel from the family of communities and declare the state null and void. Now, Israel is here, we're real, we exist, we're not going anywhere, and this organization, apart from being anti-peace and anti-normalization, is anti-Semitic because they claim to only call into question the Jewish state and its right to exist at the expense of human rights failures and human rights transgressions around the world. So what could happen is that the following organizations, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Oxfam, and others, will now see any support coming from America, and this includes funding pulled from them for contravening their anti-BDS laws. This is a statement that's bringing up quite a lot of debate online. I'm seeing people saying, is it silencing free speech? Others saying this is a very welcome decision because these kind of anti-Semitic organizations hide behind the pretenses of human rights. But if you have a comment, put it in the comment section below. We'd love to hear your feedback. And our final story brings us back to where we are as far as the coronavirus pandemic is in Israel. Now, our rate of infections is coming down. We're almost at that 1,000 threshold. That's the magic number that the health ministry, or the man they call the coronavirus czar, Professor Ronnie Gamsu, wants to see before he considers lifting more restrictions. But there's a lot of debate happening in the Knesset and happening in the coronavirus cabinet about how to lift the lockdown. Prime Minister Netanyahu, as well as the Treasury, would like a shorter lifting time. They would like to get the economy started, albeit very, very cautiously, whereas the health ministry would like extra time to make sure those numbers really come down. They're now lower than they were in July, which is a very, very good thing. However, we don't want to see another spike in the rate of infections. So an impasse was reached in yesterday's debate or discussion in the coronavirus cabinet, where they just couldn't reach an agreement on lifting restrictions on shops, small businesses, schools, hairdressers, and hopefully they will go back into discussion later today. And another big discussion that has to happen is the passing of the budget. Benny Gantz, who is the leader of the Blue and White Party. He is also the Defence Minister and the alternate Prime Minister, has said there's no reason why a budget shouldn't be passed. It has been put forward, and if it's not passed by the deadline at the end of the month, we will have no choice but to go to elections. So this is just what Israel doesn't need right now, is another set of elections. So those are the top stories as we head into the weekend. Thursday marks the start of the weekend here in Israel, and if you're looking for something to do this weekend, you can check out our content online at www.layoftheland.online. We're on Facebook as well. Check out our Shabbat Shalom message. Give us a Shabbat Shalom greeting of your own, or a like, or a follow. Share our content. It's all there. It's all free. And also don't forget that we have you covered on YouTube at the Israel Brief. All you have to do is click on the red subscribe button, and we're on Twitter as well if you want to interact with us, and you can find us at Lay of the Land with the digit 5. So from the team here at Lay of the Land and the Israel Brief, I'm Rolene Marks, and I wish you all a happy, a safe, a healthy weekend. Shabbat Shalom, and we'll catch you next week.